Hello you lovely lot. In today's video I want to show you how easy it is to make an etching on plexiglass and print it on paper. Here you can see the photo that I chose in Pixabay, a photo of a rabbit, and I worked on it in ProCreate, drawing a second layer over the photo, and then I can print out only my drawing that I made over the photo, so that's very easy. I then added under the plexiglass with a piece of tape, and now I am engraving the lines, all the drawn lines that I made. I'm just going over it with this electrical etching device. It's a great tool. It's like only 10 euros or so. It's so much faster. The only problem is it's really noisy. So just imagine the chainsaw, being turned on all the time. And afterwards I had a kind of what we call in German, what we call a tatterich. So I probably can't sleep tonight. Okay, I looked up what a tatterich is. It means having the shakes. This thing just vibrates like hell. But other than that, it's really great. I was not sure if it was fine, if the needle was fine enough, but I thought it was great. And the whole work here on the rabbit took me maybe an hour or so to engrave in the plastic. Hang on, there's some close-ups coming up, so you can see better what the needle does in the plastic. The Plexi. From time to time, I check the results by holding just the Plexi over a black surface, so I can see better. And here you can really see how fine the needle works on the Plexi. I think it's just wonderful. I would recommend practicing a little with this tool. You gotta have a feeling for when to put the needle down and with how much pressure you work, and also you gotta get a feeling for the twists and turns that the fur makes. I practiced this already in ProCreate when I made the drawing, so that's also a good study for animal fur. So for the mess I'll be making with the etching ink, I have to protect my table and I have to protect my assistant. No, really, don't try this at home with your dog. This was just a joke, and she ran off, and I have to do this video alone. I am using etching ink. In this case, the Aqua Intaglio in black. And I really recommend doing this with etching ink. I think if you use acrylics, the color is just not fine enough for what you're doing here. And also, it's a good thing that the Aqua is very sticky, very tacky, very sticky, and so you can work on this like that. So what I'm doing here is just mixing up the color a little, just to see if there's anything in the color that's disturbing. Like I found like something like a hair or a grass in there. I wonder how it got in there. Anyway, you mix it for a while, and then please never take a metal spatula to put it on the Plexi. Use these cardboard things. And because with the metal you might scratch the Plexi even more, and well, it happened anyway. I don't know how, but I got some scratches in there. But you know, it's just not perfect, and that's fine, because perfection is boring, I think. When you're spreading the ink, be sure that you pull the cardboard things in all directions, so that the paint goes into every nook and cranny, and then you can take something off with the cardboard things. Some people use cheesecloth for this, but I just use ordinary household tissue. I think it's fine. I don't know, I'll get some cheesecloth and make a comparison what works better. So here I am taking the excess color off the surface. Actually, don't do it like this, that you just hold your tissue like that. It's better to lay it flat, so that you're sure that the tissue doesn't get the color out of the little crannies. Some people use newsprint for this. I'll try that, maybe it's better. So I'm making sure that not the least bit of color stays on the Plexi. What you see here on the side that's underneath on the Mylar sheet. Oh, and I really recommend wearing rubber gloves like I do here. The Aqua stuff is really a mess. So I soaked my printing paper, watercolor paper, in water for about 10 minutes or so, and now I'm taking the excess water off with a towel, but don't take too much of that water off, because it needs to have a certain kind of wetness, and it has to stay wet for a while, because the printing process takes a while too. So I put the Plexi there with the ink side upwards, put the paper on top, and just a piece of felt. This is easy because it's all the same size. Putting some tape to keep it in position. Then I use the brayer. So after I removed the felt, I took my trusty silver spoon, and you have to rub really hard on the paper. This is why it's important that the paper stays wet, because when it's wet, it can sort of go into the crannies and pick up more color. And if it would be dry by now, I'd probably have, in the areas where I hadn't come with a spoon, it would probably be too light. So here I'm using a wooden spoon, which works as well. But one of these prints of this series was probably a little too wet, and the wooden spoon tore the paper. I guess the wooden spoon has a little tooth to it, that's why. And then the paper's too wet, and well, then it tore. Pressing so long on the paper with the spoons is actually really necessary. And also you have to press really hard. It takes quite a long time, I have to say. So here you can see I'm almost near the end. Ta-da! This is the result. So these are the 2 best out of 5 prints. And now for a little touch-up with my colored pencils. Just a little black here and there, only in a few places where the color hasn't been taken by the paper so well. And one of the prints gets a little more color on the egg. Also colored pencils, all by Faber-Castell. And here's the touch-up for the second one that I leave black and white. And I think it's really important to not make it too perfect, because perfection is boring. So I'm trying to keep it subtle and you know, keep the impression of the typical prints. So this is the end result of these 2. I'm quite happy with them. One with color, a little color, and one in black and white. I'm not sure how many more I could do with the Plexi plate, but I think quite a few. But for now, I'm really happy with these. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. Bye.